But I think the biggest thing here is that they made a new statue of Gorehowl.
Because they tear down Grom, right? Or what they had before.
No, it was still Gorehowl. It was the old Gorehowl. But now they put in and inaugurated a new statue of Gorehowl. But this is not just any statue of Gorehowl.
It's a paladin one.
This is the lightforged Gorehowl. And we're going to get into what that means. But let's take a moment to look at this. Do you like what you see here, Flame? Or do you not see
I like the Chinese people's passion for the game, and I'm glad that the Chinese players are actually able to play World of Warcraft, because they probably suffered the most and they had like no hand to play in all of this.
Yes, true.
No, I'm not a fan of Orc Paladins.
So listen. Flame believes that this is a sign of things to come. Flame believes that in a not so distant future, we're going to have Orc Paladins. Now, as much as come on now. As much as I dislike that also, I don't really think that's going to be it. Gorehowl was the axe of
Grom
Hellscream.
Yeah.
Right? This is what I was going with it. Now, we know I guess we all know the story of Warlords of Draenor. For people who played the Magar campaign, they saw, a little bit of aftermath over there. Basically, we know that, Yrel went cuckoo, a little bit fanatic with the light. The light will be the only thing in the world, and that's it. Kind of a little bit extremist, I would say.
Too many jokes are coming.
I know. Shut up. Contain yourself. So the fact that Gorehowl, so the weapon that was wielded by Grom, and also Garrosh, mind you.
Yeah, chronologically, Garrosh was the last figure.
Yeah, those two were like almost 100% linked to the story of Yrel and what happened on Draenor, at least in the Warlords of Draenor timeline, okay? Makes for an interesting speculation, I would say. So I'm not talking about Orc Paladins. I'm talking about what is to come in, I would say, midnight.
Which, to be fair, I am really excited about your take, and I really hope that your take is the take that we're gonna get, and not my take, because fuck my take, burn it to the ground.
No, but listen, okay, so midnight will definitely, it's midnight. It's definitely gonna be about the void and shadow, and who's opposite to that? It's the light. And we were kind of like, well, we were theory crafting a lot, we were fan crafting a lot, we were speculating, hoping we could see something in regards to the light and some more presence within the story, because like you remember in Shadowlands in Ravendread we had the whole zone with the light coming piercing through the veils.
that was really cool.
And there was the story that the light beings kind of like punished all of those dudes from it was an interesting insight into that. But moving on, so midnight, it is called Midnight, the expansion, the expansion after War Within. It is called Midnight, but it has to have some sort of like big motif. And I'm pretty sure that the War Within will pretty much throw in that motif due to the light, because you have to remember, we do have some Scarlet Boys over there. And the Erathians over there as well. And that's a lot of light motif already.
I know you're not following the story because you're trying to keep yourself for the expansion. I don't know the story.
Spoil me, baby. Spoil me.
I don't know the story either, but what I do know from just doing the dungeon is that they have a job, the Arathor or whatever. They have lamplighters. Plus, the mechanic was he's staying in the light so the darkness doesn't get you, because otherwise you die. And we know that in the Priory of the Sacred Flame, there's...
Sacred Flame! There he is.
Undead paladins there already. So for people who are going crazy about it, listen, they're just around the corner. You're probably going to get them. They're not paladins, but they're light-infused undead corpses, probably resurrected through the light. Maybe something that Kalia did as well.
Kalia is as well, man. Kalia is like light infused.
She wasn't resurrected with necromantic magic. She was resurrected with light magic.
Listen. If we're going to talk about, this is a small parenthesis. If you're going to have undead priests, you got to have undead paladins, because undead at the end of the day are just like former humans.
Yeah.
And I get, it's not like the most graceful look if you think about it, but if you're gonna have the priests be undead, you might as well give it to paladins.
Lore-wise, it definitely might make sense.
It makes much more sense than orcs.
For sure.
I don't feel like orcs traditionally, and you cannot really associate the light with orcs because they were all about chaos, shadow,
I think orcs can be
elements.
Yeah,
but the light feels
shamans. Orcs are shamans, warlocks, hunters, warriors,
shadow,
right?
Elements.
But we've been diluting the concept of each race's affinity to certain types of magic and certain types of like lore depiction of power. So I really hope that we don't get that because the fantasy of paladins is so cool within the context of World of Warcraft. And I can give it to Undead Paladins. They gave us Kali already, and she's not gonna go anywhere.
That's what I'm
might
saying.
As well work on it.
That's what I'm saying. So getting back to the whole lightforged Gorehowl here, what I feel is that at the end of War Within, or who knows, maybe even in a 0.2 something patch, we'll get the foundation of what's going to like set in motion Midnight. Because obviously we already will have to deal with Void stuff. We already have Xal'atath, so that part of the story is already here and it's probably going to grow.
We have like Void stuff in the raid, Void monsters.
Yeah, it's a Void expansion through in and throughout.
I mean, you've probably done the 10-7 story with the Void Elves.
Yes.
With Ethereals. And
with Alleria.
We have stuff like that in the raid as well. So it's clear we're fighting it. And it looks like the Arathi, or is it Arathor or Arathi? I don't know what they're called.
Well, they're descendants of the Arathi.
They're already playing a big part into giving us the power to fight the Void. And through the dialogues between Anduin and the Lothar chick, which I forgot her first name was. But how can you stand? No, there's like light is the power. It's like she brings the motif of like, you see, it has to come through
small
you.
crumbs.
Yeah, so we're building towards, and I'm getting goosebumps just thinking, you're actually building things to make sense, and that hasn't happened in a very long time in the story of WoW.
But this is the thing. This has to be the conflict where you would, because you see the bad of the Void in Shadow. You see the bad of the light, because the fanaticism, right?
Yeah.
It's bad, right? But you also have the good. You have Alleria.
Yeah,
who she's the good. You have the Void, of course. Yeah. You have the Paladins, your Tyrians, your Anduins. I think you can safely call him a Paladin now.
Well, I don't know if he. Well, I don't think technically he's a Paladin now because he lost the grip with the light. I think he's probably on a journey to regain it. So he's probably gonna get it.
We know that correctly. Both sides of these cosmic forces are can be good.
Yeah.
What are we missing here? Like properly. Is the bad side of the light. We don't have it yet. We have the bad side of the Void.
Glimpses of it in Legion with Zira and Illidan.
Now, motherfucker. So this is what's gonna happen. I'm not saying the Gorehowl is gonna be in the next expansion, but I feel this is the moment or the hint that this will throw us Yrel back. And I'm saying this because Yrel was one of Smetzen's babies, and he declared that he felt bad he never got to finish that story.
Oh my god,
so
and I feel like
Yrel, so okay, I'm linking this to the Magar storyline, and if we're gonna bring the bad side of the light, as much as I love Yrel, I cannot see now any other better contender. Because I can see her fanaticism.
You know what I think? Considering Metzen and considering the story of Yrel, and it's a little bit baked in copium, I know, but I feel like Yrel is going to start off as leading the charge of the Lightforged fanaticism, and then she's like, what am I doing? I'm just doing the same thing that the orcs did it to me.
No, shut up. And it's not going to happen like that. Listen, if you know Metzen, as much as he likes a redemption story, he created Arthas. Like you had no hope for Arthas. I don't think you're gonna have any hope for Yrel.
You cannot compare Yrel.
Yrel is gonna become. So remember the rejection of the gift cinematic? Yeah. That's gonna be Yrel amplified to 1,000. How did Xal'atath just became?
What do you mean? It was a Shadow Priest legendary that talked to you throughout the entirety of Legion. We had her in BFA where she helped us with N'Zoth.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep having build-ups with her right now.
Yeah, we have no build-up as of today with her. She just become this huge threat out of nothing.
Yet. Well, if you're gonna say from that point, she's not yet a huge threat. We don't know anything yet. Our current character in WoW. Okay. Until like the War Within actually launches, and who knows what kind of stories and cinematics we're gonna have. Up until the point where we know what we know right now, past the fourth wall, that Xal'atath is like a big baddie. If you do the 10-7 story, they speculate that it's her.
They 100% know it's her due to the 10-7 story.
All right, sure.
But they will know at the beginning of the expansion it's about her. And I'm not saying the whole expansion would end as her being the main villain. All I'm saying is
probably not.
She became from this I don't know, this old goddish small child trapped in a weapon from a small little avatar of a void elf thingy helping us through BFA to all of a sudden becoming this harbinger of death that Iridikron is really a fan about. And we see her like big looming hands all over the art and stuff. So we got this. We didn't see this transition. We don't know the story. And this is the same thing with Yrel. We don't know how that is going to happen. Imagine
they could definitely. Listen, I'll give it to you. They can definitely build it. The problem is that Zeltat actually had the build up. A tiny build up.
What fucking build up,
dude?
No build up.
It's Shadow Priest. It's BFA. What do you mean? She went from being a dagger to being an actual avatar to helping us with the Zod.
I remember all that. And we had the little helmet thing, and nothing happened to that.
Yeah, but it's different from
the power she is presented to have right now
in
is
cinematics
not explained.
It's cinematics that our characters haven't gotten to the point to. Because the cinematics that you're seeing right now are not part of the current story. Like this story hasn't happened yet. We have to actually have the war within launch.
True.
Have to go through the quest.
That's what I say. I can say that about Yrel.
Yeah, sure, but no, because Yrel was You stopped. No, Yrel stopped at the end
was not an artifact weapon. She should have been the Ashbringer, and then it would have made sense.
At the end of Warlords of Draenor, you're beating Archimonde, and Yrel is there with Grommy, all with her hand on her shoulders, like, yeah, we won, boom. And then the next thing is she's this evil commander. That part has not been built up. She just is. She just tells you, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't know.
That's the part that's going to be built up.
But we already have the end finale, and it happened 2 years ago.
Well, they cannot really like go back and change Yrel again.
Sure.
You want that because you have the Magar orc story.
But as an
can you retcon that?
Retcon what?
The Magar thing, because you go into the Magar campaign shit and then
as you go, yeah, that's shit. I never particularly liked it, but because there was never a build up towards it. If you want to tell that story, tell the story, but don't tell me the conclusion is like, oh, but we're gonna figure out the build up and how they ended up in that point, and but you have to accept it now. Fuck that. Yrel was one of the coolest characters in Warlords of Draenor. Was the reason why I liked playing Alliance, and she had the coolest rise, like the motif of the rise of the hero possible. From what was it? She was an orc slave or whatever, and we rescue her. And
she was a red paladin. For me, that was enough.
Yeah, she learns from Velen. She takes Velen's sacrifice and his wisdom and goes forward and becomes a leader to her people. And from there, like, oh, she's crazy now and just wants to obliterate everybody. That just kills it for me. Listen, if that's the role that we have, fine. And if they're gonna tell that story, fine. I still don't like the character, the direction that they took it, because it didn't make sense and it felt forced and it felt like Metzen left the team and they're like, oh, what do we want with the role? Let's just make her crazy.
So I think they went that route with her because in Legion it was kind of like the first time they tried to portray the light as this more extremist faith. Let's call it ideology.
It was cool when you.
It was cool, yeah. And that good? I think because of that, because before Legion, you always thought the light was this only good, only pure thing, saving everybody and stuff like that. Legion was the first time when you were placed in with doubts regarding it, and because of that, because Rejection of the Gift cinematic like really showed off some weird ass fanaticism. Like I was like when I first saw it, I was like a little bit shocked. It's like,
I was in my seat like, what?
Yeah. So because of that, I can understand why they would transform Yrel's character into the
I can understand why they would need a character like that. Sure.
Yeah.
I would have hoped it wouldn't be Yrel.
They couldn't like really. So how could that, after everything that happened in Legion? Because I don't know, like all of the events have to take place in some chronologically logical order, right? So if the events that you go through with the Magar campaign happen between Legion or whatever, because that's again, it's an all different timeline.
Yeah,
it's all messed up.
When you do the Magar unlocking quests, like it's like 30, 40 years in the future.
Right.
Because Grom is old, he has gray hair, is all wrinkled up.
Again, in an alternative timeline, but it has to link up with the fact that they wanted to sell this idea of not all light is good.
Sure.
Some of the light will have to play this card of like super fanatics, super like, occult, we do it like us or we kill you type shit. And out of all of the characters they could have went for in the Magar campaign, they went for Yrel. I don't mind it. I don't like the fact that they haven't showed that road or transition or that story, how this came to be at some point.
Like we got with Arthas.
Yeah, true.
Like,
yeah,
that was. That's how you do the. Oh, you like this character now? You're gonna hate this character now.
But
Like
dude,
that's.
come on, they did Arthas in Warcraft. You cannot really compare.
Yeah,
Yrel is
but-
not a character developed from the RTS.
Sure,
games.
but you
This
might
is-
have something similar going on with Tyrallion at the moment, because people are speculating, what is he doing? He's not playing an important role. He's kind of AFK. He really hates the Shadow, and he might have mixed feelings about Alleria embracing the Shadow.
He could also be. I could also see him as.
And
but I can see him, doing the swanky dance with Yrel. It's like, come on, baby.
Yeah, but that's what
let's embrace the light. Come, baby.
That's what I mean. It would make more sense for Tyrallion, because even though it's not the build-up that Arthas had, you are with him on the journey of.
I will not compare these two artists.
No. But I meant a good character gone bad was what I mean with Tyrallion, because you were with him when you fight the Legion. You were with him through his shock of learning that Alleria embraced the Shadow.
Yes.
You were with him with his conflicts, like I don't even know anymore. I have a son, I have a wife. Now my wife is gone. I cannot touch her because we burn each other or whatever they have.
I was sold on the whole Yrel thing, and this is no bullshit, in Heroes of the Storm actually, because after playing the Mygar campaign and then playing Yrel in Heroes of the Storm, it just felt right. She's
a paladin.
But she's not like your average. She's not Uther paladin.
No, she's a little bit red prot paladin.
A combination of
Templar.
what a Templar could have been, but it felt vengeance-y. It felt, again, retribution.
Aggressive.
Yes, much more aggressive, and you didn't get that from Warlords of Draenor.
No, she was. Yeah,
she was really chill. Had her moments at the end, of course, but overall, I feel it's a good choice because I really want like a fallen paladin, but not Arthas. This is what I'm saying. So fallen paladin, but not in the sense that he embraces the shadow or whatever, or the death or whatever. A fallen paladin becoming fanatic.
An Oathbreaker.
An Oathbreaker. There you go. Yeah.
Okay, I'll meet you halfway there. That sounds really cool if they play her right. I wouldn't mind, but please make her a badass. Please don't make
Proper
her
badass.
This Viranathas like, oh, we need to ally and become friends to beat the big baddie. Sure. No, just give her a big, strong personality. Give her like a big impact on all of this. She is a badass. She's the product of learning from some of the best warlords and leaders, all of them, like Velen and Grom and
one of the teachers of the Light Velen.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Velen, and I mean, she probably didn't learn the good things about Grom, but she learned how to probably wage war, because she does wage war on the Maga or whatever she does back there in alternate Draenor.
Slaps him with the light sweeps.
She could have the potential to be like a badass character. A good or bad, depends. Probably bad, but at least don't make her another dungeon boss or yet another raid boss.
So.
Like
I don't think so, because again, we're talking about Metzen, and he really loves that character. I don't think he's just gonna be satisfied on making her. Well, we can be talking out of our ass right now. It could not be Yrel whatsoever, but the fact that there's the Gorehowl, lightforged Gorehowl over there.
I don't think our Gorehowl actually exists anymore, because wasn't it corrupt? No. It was left by Garrosh
We have it from
Siege.
Dawn of the Infinite.
No, yeah, but that's another version of timeline. No, but the actual Gorehowl, wasn't it left by Garrosh in Siege of Orgrimmar, and then he got the corrupted Yashiraj version when he fought him in Mop?
Which I hate how that looks.
Whatever. But that Gorehowl, like, we don't know what happened to that Gorehowl. Did it end up in Karazhan, back in TBC? Like, nobody really knows. It's not like Thrall picked it up, or it's not like an Orc picked it up.
No, probably Yrel picked it up in that timeline and just blew into it with some light fanaticism, and there you go.
Oh, that is true. No, because Grom did fight Thrall in the ground with his Gorehowl, and that got left there.
I think
that might be the one.
The cinematic actually shows Gorehowl being left in the.
What you're saying is that Yrel uses that, but I think Garrosh uses that.
No, come on, man.
Because Garrosh is within cahoots with Yrel. If you remember the Magar Orc, he's there on his little elephant.
He will not become a paladin. He cannot. How? if Garrosh becomes.
He has the tattoos that could be colored all in that light, like Illidan had, man. But if you remember,
I don't want to see that.
You're going to Grommash, you're like, oh, they're coming. You gotta go. You gotta go to this alternate version where the orcs are good, because Yrel and my son is coming for you, right? Because he's there. He's a little bit of a little bitch, but he might be the one using it, because I think Yrel probably use her hammer, right?
Yrel could
Or
have
Marad's hammer.
Yeah, Murad's hammer. That's it. Well, Yrel could have like infused it with light. And it's like, here is a much more powerful
It would be
one.
interesting if Yrel used it because that's a very aggressive weapon. That axe.
So, all I'm saying, but please let's just not give the idea that we're gonna have orc paladins.